So that guy that was challenging me, he goes around bullying people. I stood up to him. All I did was ask him to like, yo, please be more respectful and just apologize. Cause like, he challenged me to spar and then like he backed out and I was like, I'm not angry, just apologize. Like, I don't even want to spar, I just want you to apologize. He kept saying weird things and he's like the type who has to have the last word in. He's like a troll. People just stop responding. And when they stop responding, he like says one thing and then it's like he wins. He's bragging about having superior knowledge, knowing everything, and like winning arguments. So I stood up to him and I wouldn't back down. And he was kept trying to like push my buttons and get me angry. It didn't work. He started saying things that made himself look really bad. I basically came out and said, bro, you he was like delusional. It was like, yo, you sound like a crackhead. It's like your word ain't shit. He responded something like he only smokes crack on Tuesdays and Christian holidays. Today is like March 30th. Tuesday. Today's a Tuesday. So like the dude's like a clown or whatever. He always tries to look smart, but with me, he just said, fuck it. I'm stupid. You're right. Da 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 da. He kept putting his foot in his mouth. Okay, so like, I had this account on Reddit that was like over a year old, like a year and 2 months. All of his comments are deleted. Everything he says deleted. He basically deleted his whole account. So all the people he talked shit to, his whole history of talking shit to people, I went through his comments and I screenshot all that. And every back and forth I had with him, I screenshot all that. So I have all that documentation. Oh, there's the phone. He got off saying that people couldn't do martial arts. He got off saying they were stupid and had dumb logic. It's, you're stupid, you don't know what you're doing, therefore you don't know how to train, therefore you're not a good fighter. I'm so smart, I know what I'm doing, I train better than you, blah, 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 blah. So, dude was not classy. And so I was just like being classy and like outclassing him. He couldn't take it, so he deleted his whole account. And basically punked him off the internet. He's gone. I direct messaged him. I was like, don't leave now, champ, come back. He's like the Charlie Z of like online trolling. He's toxic and he found someone more toxic than him, so. I have a Wix account where I do like my Aikido stuff. I did the Wix account first. And then I started doing this. I did the Wix account I did 2 months on there. I think I did this for maybe about 2 months. Mostly a private person. So the Wix thing was to address some things. And then this was to like address some things. I don't really teach. So 4 minutes. I'll do a social media thing for maybe like 2 months. And then I'll move on. So, new chapter, new adventure. I like to try new things. I never had a Wix account before. I never posted things to like YouTube before. It's a lot of firsts for me. So, I'm going to move tomorrow. I live in Tacoma. This place is a dump. I'm going to move up to Bellevue. In this area around here, like around Tacoma, there's about 30 dojos. I can go and train in all of them. I don't really need to train. If I wanted to train, I'd probably just go to Japan and learn the Japanese martial arts. My fighting is good. I just need to get active, get back into being active, and get back into training my own thing. But I'd go to like all the different places, maybe like 2 weeks each, just to see what like they're teaching people or what's out there. I would never mix martial art it. I don't need to. That's not interesting to me. So I try to learn my systems as much as I can. I try to use my systems for like street fighting or like actual self-defense or reality based. Most things out there are like a dough art or like sports. I just have any interest in competing. I'm 40. My competing days are over. Or my fighting days or whatever are over. So if I do any serious videos, I want someone to professionally record it. I want to hire someone to professionally record it. I've been lazy and I've been procrastinating. I've been distracted. Saying for no reason. Rogan said he needed $12,000, but he came up with it or whatever. It seems like he wanted to do a fight club, but then he put his money into his TV show or a streaming show or whatever. That seems to be like a better like opportunity for him, financial wise. So I was going to give him the $12,000, but I have to do other things for like children, things for like education, things for like nonprofits. So that's kind of like where my focus is. It's like a distraction. Things they do is like fun and lifestyle. Things I do are more for like the community or more for like other people, not so much myself. I tend to sacrifice myself a lot. So put others first and me second. So it's just my nature. So I set off an alarm. Maybe I was holding the microphone. So move tomorrow. I'll still give him his money. I can still like fund his little thing. I try to tell people like what things were and set them straight. They were wrong, and then I like got it so that the majority of people understood what was what. And then I went silent for a while, and then people started regressing back to their old bad habits. So if people haven't figured out by now what works, what doesn't, it's like they don't want things to work, or they don't want to listen, or like they don't care, so they're on their own. So they said like I don't flame war and I don't troll people, but I don't give acquiescence, bias, or confirmation. I'm not just gonna agree with people because they like feel entitled to it. The scam is they're doing propaganda, and if you disagree with them, somehow you're a troll or you're controversial. What it is they're lying to push agenda and anything they can do to silence like opposition. So people feel like, oh, it's not worth it, or don't feed the troll. They're putting out propaganda. I put out counter propaganda. When it comes to things like that, I have endless energy. But I don't do tit for tat. So there was original arguments or misconceptions back in 2008 or whenever. By 2012, 2014, I cleaned that up. But now in like 2019 to 2023, they're starting to come back with those misconceptions. So everything I do and say is consistent. What works for me works for me. So there's maybe like 3 or 4 types of people as far as like martial arts is concerned. There's the people who explain how things work, and then there's the people who defend their system to say the system works or that they can fight. And then there's people who defend the system to be like, they want you to join it, or they want to teach you, or they want money, they want you to join their club. So if you go and say someone's style is trash, they're going to get emotional, like be like hurt about it, because that's a big part of their life. It's a big part of their personality. And what you're doing is like saying, their martial arts system is garbage, but it feels like you're saying, they take it as you're saying they're garbage. Here's things they worked hard at and they have a lot of pride in, and you're kind of crapping on that. So it's not so much you're crapping on their martial arts style, you're crapping on them as a person. So I'm just too mature or whatever to care. So people are like, I want recognition, I want acknowledgement, I want validation, I want respect. I don't really care about those things. People asked how Aikido worked, I told them. I had a problem where people who didn't do Aikido was, maybe it's this, maybe it's that, maybe it's this. It's, if you want to know how Aikido works, ask somebody who does Aikido. Don't just look at it and then make up shit. This guy was doing that. Here's different martial arts. Wrestlers want to wrestle. Different Chinese system want to do different Chinese things. Wing Chun wants to Wing Chun. It's like, I was doing pure Aikido, and I'm proficient in it, and I can fight in it, and I can defend myself in it. And so the wrestler's like, well, Aikido works if you had wrestling. And the karate guy's like, well, Aikido works if you had karate. And another person who's just Aikido, well, this style of Aikido works, or that style of Aikido works. Or someone who's not Aikido, oh, I respect Aikido because it teaches balance and focus or something, but you need my techniques to actually be able to fight. That's simply not true. Simply not true. At all. It isn't. So there's a lot of wimps in Aikido and they give it a bad name. This has been going on since 1970. Aikido markets to wimps. And then it says, it's almost like if you went to like a karate class and it was like mostly male dominated. If you're a woman, the techniques and the kata are going to focus towards strong, powerful movements, not light, quick movements. So if you got like an Aikido class, I'll put it this way. If you had a karate class that's mostly women, they're going to do, what's the name of that? Yanagi? They're going to be doing like women's kata that was designed for like women's self-defense. And if you're a guy in there, that's not going to be a good fit. So teaching men to fight and respond like women, or run away, or seek and hide shelter, you need to find a better instructor. The most macho systems will not work for women because they don't have enough strength. They won't have enough bravery. They won't have enough wherewithal to think and act instinctively like a man. Rogue Warriors Aikido, they had a chick in there. Some chicks can do it, some chicks can't. I seen like one still image, and they're going hard and doing something weird, and they're saying, these are the techniques we teach. I can see a woman who has like law enforcement background, and maybe not, she's a cop, but maybe like her brother is. She's a part of that like culture. Cops will tell you, just get the stuff that's no nonsense, military, beat 'em up stuff. Don't go for that flippy dippy stuff. I can see her being influenced by her brothers and her dad and all this. She could have whatever type of job, but when she goes to like a self-defense and she takes Aikido, she'll take that version because it's the more combat, military, street, real version or whatever. No nonsense stuff. But that's like the place where any guy who was like macho basically somebody who was toxic or macho, they got kicked out of a regular keto class because it like focuses on like, it markets to wimps. They don't want to fight. They're modern. They're not about broken bones, whatever. Someone who's serious about violence or fighting and defending themselves, they're going to be quietly pushed out, quietly ostracized. So then all those toxic strong dudes, and by toxic I just mean like Cobra Kai, like I don't really mean toxic like bad. I mean toxic like dominant male energy. So whatever that means. So I don't really care about labels. I don't really define things. I don't. She's gonna be up in there with the dudes who like the techniques are basically only designed for like men to work. There's like a kata in like karate where you like stand on one leg and balance and you do like a snap kick. Now that might be good for someone who's like a small framed man, a thin framed man. He's lightweight. He weigh like 100 pounds, 140 pounds. It's like a woman's technique. Men's kata is like low and grounded to the ground. Low stances and like that, drop your body weight. That other thing where it's like high up. I'm trying to stand on my leg. That's like a girl kata. There's men kata and there's girl kata. It'd be like teaching a group of men women's kata. It'd be like teaching like a group of women men's kata. It's just a mismatch. So I can see why she would want to go to that like tough style, but it's like a mismatch for her. And so that's the problem, misconception. People don't know what they should do, what they should study, or they're always wandering on a journey. I got in, I got the training, I got out. I took what I needed and I left. I looked at real life violence and I thought about what technique do I have from my training that would deal with this. And people say they modify techniques. A punch can come from any angle. A knife attack can come from any angle. You standardize an attack and it's coming from like one angle in a standardized form or kata. But when you're really training to actually fight, you have to think like a clock, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock. Like, here's 12, here's 1, 2, 3. Punch this way, this way, this way, this way, this way, this way. Come in, or angle, or angle, or angle. Varying angles. It can be footwork or turning. They're moving. It's the push and pull of a real fight. So I understand that. I would do that in boxing. I would do that in kickboxing. I'd do that in anything. So people horribly fuck up kata and what they say about it. So I don't have a problem with kata, but other people do. So I always defend kata in the traditional styles, but most people, they just don't get it. So I can make arguments for or against. So as far as being consistent, like this past weekend, was debating people about kata. I've been doing this for like the last month or two, on and off. Took a break and then it came up again. My attitudes about anything I think about martial arts, they don't grow. They don't improve. My attitude is get in, do the job, and get out. That's no nonsense. That's been since 2008. This whole time, anybody saying something is trying to change my mind. No one in the planet will ever influence me in any manner, on any subject, in the slightest. They can try their best and be as friendly as possible, and at the end be like, did I give you something to think about? And my response is not at all. To their face, very bluntly. They call that being rude. No, you asked the question, I answered it. These are people that are used to being always told they're right. And once someone says, I disagree, or I'll tell you how it really is, that's not rudeness. That's being forthright. I'm being honest with the person. I disagree and I'm not going to consider that. And I don't feel any shame in that. And I don't feel any awkwardness about it. I'm not an introvert. I'm not shy. Part of it is I can beat the shit out of anybody. So unless you're going to put a gun to my head, I'm not going to do what the fuck you want me to do. At all. I don't give a fuck about your feelings. Here's what you want. My answer is no. You're going to beat me up for it? No. Then why the fuck should I care? Are we really friends? Do we hang out together? No. So why should I care if I lose a friendship? I don't need these people. They asked the question, I answered it. I would rather have people around me telling me the truth than a bunch of suck up like yes men. Because if I'm making mistakes, I need someone to set me straight. Full disclosure, I never make mistakes. I'm godlike perfection. And I'm consistent. So you got these trolls trying to like take things I say and like no one's that perfect, put me to the test. This has been going on for 15 years. And I have endless like, yo, screenshot this, that, and the other. And I can put that up on my Wix account, and sometimes I do, but it's like, now it's like seeking attention or validation for that. They argue with me, they say all this crap, and then when I come along and say, but here's my side, no. Like today, I had this guy attack me about something, and it came up on my email. I had like some sort of comment, and in the email, I'm reading what it says. It's all this crap. That was like an hour-old comment. I click on it, and it takes me to the thing. Comment deleted. Because he realized he was talking out of his ass. Instead of just saying, oh, I misspoke, or oh, I misread what you were saying, or make the mistake, own the mistake, apologize for the mistake. They try to like erase the mistake. They don't really have any spiritual development or growth. That could have been an opportunity for them to grow. One guy deleted his comment. I think he called me an ADD, riddled, meathead. I sound like this, I sound like that. I'm like, well, okay, we're going to get into it and we're going to go back and forth and here's my response or whatever. It wasn't even angry. I never get angry at comments. I might. I really doubt it. I don't have fragile ego. The only time I get angry is when someone disrespects me and then it's like a fight and then it's like I want to use that anger to beat the shit out of them. Somebody once said something like I seem like I'm ruled by my ego or my feelings or my emotion. Yeah, I am. If you hurt my feelings, I'll attack you. That's normal. If you have a martial art that seeks to get rid of that, the shit's stupid. If I saw someone hitting my kid, I'd get angry, run up and beat the shit out of them. That's how evolution works. That's a self-preservation of the species or the family, or a self-preservation. That's what's supposed to happen. One of my neighbors who moved out, I was doing martial arts, I was walking by, they talked to me, they're like, you know how when you're angry, it's really hard to fight? No. I view anger as like adrenaline, as like a steroid, as like performance-enhancing drug. I've heard stories about the car falls on the kid and the mom runs up, grabs the car, lifts the truck up, saves the kid. Something she can't do normally, she can do under like extreme stress or like anger or panic. If a woman saw someone hitting their kid, they'd freak out, run up, attack the person. If it's just them, and here's a strong man that attacks a woman, she'll lose. But if that same strong man is attacking her people, like her kids, her maternal instinct will kick in. She'll run up and attack the attacker, save the kid, and shoo the guy away. She will win, or have a better chance. Win or lose, her being angry and using that anger to attack, that emotion, what we're fighting for, the family and this, that, and the other, sacred things, that makes her a better fighter. It doesn't make her worse. Taking that away from her and calm and yoga and meditation, that's a complete lie. That will make you a much worse fighter. Peaceful martial arts are not to be trusted. They will make you a worse fighter. It's indoctrination. It's a conspiracy. It's a conspiracy. I'm going to take it's funny. Started martial arts and was like, we're going to take the gun in your hand and replace it with martial arts. Well, these people are running around screaming about gun fu this and gun fu that. Okay, so now all your dumb ass is doing is taking the martial arts out of my hand, putting the gun in it. They flip-flop, they're inconsistent. When someone changes their story, it means they're lying. A bunch of lies. It's a spider web. They got tangled in their own lies. They couldn't keep their own lies straight. Tangled web we weave to deceive. Bad terms and all. Fuck it. However the saying goes. Yakety schmackety. They lie and it's not strategical. They don't know what the fuck they're talking about because they're stupid. Because of that, that's why people can't influence me. They're fucking dumb and they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. They know a little bit about something. Go and look at any of my posts or go look at any of my videos or go look at anybody who was like, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, but here's the complete opposite view of what you're saying. And they try to call me a troll. I'm just full of it. No, they're all idiots. They're dumb. What they think they're doing is logical, but it's really emotional. I am very good at logic and emotion and keep the two separate and when to use which one. They're not. Part of my job requires that. I excel at that. I would brag about that. That's one of my strongest points. So, this one guy accused me of like not being a critical thinker and I'm a karate nerd. I posted this video on here and he said he wasn't gonna like click on it because it was like a virus. I went to go, so that's diablo0311 or something. Sounds like a white supremacist out of Ohio because he has the 311. So I go to reply. So I got that one. So I had 2 people attack me today in the early mornings. One guy deleted his thing. This other guy, Diablo, he deleted his whole account. He deleted his whole Reddit account. What did he say? Oh, he said I was a karate nerd. He thinks like I'm some like white dude that's like wimpy and skinny. Like more than 60% of Reddit is white people. People don't know who they're talking to on the internet. They just make like assumptions. It comes down like this. If I don't say my race, they think I'm white and I can't fight. And I'm some whatever. Well, you sound like this, or most of the people on here, or this, that, and the other. So you're just going to go by bias and prejudice? You're not going to take it on a case by case? Think before you talk, and then say that shit out loud, and hear how it sounds before you post. Where's your etiquette? So, I'm from the 90s. We had the internet back then. We used to post back then, and I've been doing this longer. I gave him that video so he'd better understand who I am, right? Basically, he went and saw that video because it has like a few views. Nobody really watches this channel. I don't really advertise it. He went and like, saw that shit in the line and said he didn't. Then he went and said something like it was a virus and he wasn't going to click on it. He's making up excuses not to watch it. So he wants to like, oh, and everything I posted, he was like, I didn't read that because I don't care about your feelings. Whatever he didn't read was probably some shit agreeing with his dumb ass. I agreed with him twice and he was attacking me. He just wanted to fight. He was just hostile and overly aggressive. It's like, I agree with you. What'd I say? Oh yeah, I get it. You don't like kata training. It doesn't work for you. You found like methods are like more hardcore and better to your suiting. His response is something like, you're a loser karate nerd. I don't want to be friends. He's like, I know you're angry. It's like, I'm laughing at this dude. It's like, get real. You can't beat my ass, so what the fuck do words mean? I've been in places like jail where they called me like slurs. I have thicker skin. I play way rougher. These people aren't built for this shit, so they're wimpy people, like a bunch of wimps. And here's like the strongest wimp bullying all the wimps. And when an actual bully shows up, this is getting too long. It's 30 minutes. It's gonna take forever to upload. Let me think. Move. Give Rokas his money. Handle my other obligations to other people. Hire someone to film my stuff if I need stuff filmed. It would be good to have like an Like a on location cameraman, I don't know what you would call it. Going by a house that has like a guest house, and then going like rent it out to the person, or let them like live there rent free, but like do work or something, film things for me. I don't know, like create some work for them. Get an entourage and just let them kind of like mooch off me. And if I need like something filmed, have them film it. I'm lazy and I get tired of holding my phone and filming. Pay someone to run this count. Change it. It's really nice seeing like the early videos. I watch other people's channels and like they're 4 years old and they have this crazy idea about how their channel's gonna be. And then over time, it just deviates completely from that. They set these lofty goals. We're gonna do this and that and this and that. And they have this idea and they're trying to do too much. Fort Lewis, McCord, Joint Base. I live over their fly thing. So, lot of soldiers around here. There was a street beast that had the guy from JBLM fighting the guy from Puyallup. That was cool. Still was doing like Wing Chun mixed with MMA. He was from like, the military. He was doing like military Wing Chun. That shit was crazy. That totally distracted me. I'm trying to think. I'm about to end this. This is really long, so I want to get as much in as I can. Oh, their channels. They think they're going to do all these amazing things, and they just end up like monetizing it and like hawking commercials or ads or something, or selling a system. So they change and they call that growth in their journey. Yeah, I'm at the apex. This is like my final form. There is no growth to do. They have that, what is that, like Dragon Ball Z? You had the all the different sagas. Pick one, Cell, Mambu. What was that one dude? Frieza. He had like maybe 3 transformations, and then he was like godlike perfection. I am extremely consistent, like to a fault. So if I have 2 things that are like dissimilar or like sounding contradictory, or if I flip-flop, that's not me evolving. That's me like changing my story. That means I'm lying. It means I don't know what I'm talking about. 1 minute, or like this phase, I feel this way about something. And the next phase, I feel a different way. Here's the truth. I think kata works. I think that people are not learning it correctly, and I don't think that's their fault. So if I can go to like the best place and get the best training, and that's not available to them, I'll get the benefits, but they won't. I can't say, well, you went to a McDojo and only my school is the real school. Or most places are McDojos, but I'm the real. Go find somebody that says kata works. First of all, be biased against kata. Then find someone who says you're wrong, and it sounds like most of your experience was karate do instead of karate jitsu in my place is the real one. Ask that person about kata and how to do it and perform it. They'll be extremely vague on details. So these people who are saying they can do whatever that's unpopular, that other people can't do and admit, these people who are saying they can do it, there's 3 types of people. The people that hate kata and aikido because they can't do it and they want to fight, and there's other training methods that get them results faster. That's the first group. Basically, traditional martial arts doesn't work for them, so they need like MMA or modern martial arts or sports or something. That makes them a better fighter. Then anybody who's traditional is going to call that a McDojo because you don't know kata or you don't know some original old style or something. So the second group is, no, traditional martial arts is right, but they're like delusional, they don't have the skills. And then there's like the third group, it's like me. I can fight good in the old style, but it comes down to, do I want to? Or why should I? There's many different ways to fight. some better than others. And beyond that, I can fight good in the old styles. I can fight good in the new styles. Sometimes it's a fight for your life. I might have to do an old style thing. Sometimes it isn't a fight for my life. I have to do a new style. Ideally, you would know like many different like things. Originally, you would take many different martial arts and have your own mixed martial art. But here's the thing. The reason why I don't train in other arts is because I think they're all McDojos. I don't think I have the perfect judo place, the perfect kickboxing place, perfect. I think it's watered down sport. That's why I don't train in like multiple arts. It's some guy saying his shit is the best and it's probably dog shit. And I'll just be bouncing, never ending on a journey, going from bullshit club, trying to learn how to fight when I already do. And as for sparring, it's under rules. Here's the sensei. Hey, you're brand new. Here's the rules so I can beat you. Now you figure out all my tricks. You're going to start winning. So when you're new, let me take advantage of you while I can. Because in like 2 years, you'll be able to beat me. And so it's shit like that where it's like the sensei just wants money. And the sensei just wants to practice himself and use you as a punching bag. He doesn't really care about your development. He cares about his money and his own development. And that's every school. Every school. It's so dark. So, okay, so you want me to train different styles. What's in it for me? There really isn't anything. I'm not acquiring more skills. It's not the best use of my time. There's people that tried like traditional martial arts and they had a McDojo, they quit, and they went to like MMA and they got results better. There's been people who went to what's it called? Traditional martial arts, and it took them 7 to 10 years to get any type of skill, let's say a decade, and their training went really slow because it was a piece art. They want to learn fighting, and it was wait. And now they're like instructors of their own. They don't even want to teach kata in their karate clubs because they had a bad experience with it. They can fight, they're all these good things. It just took too long. And the reason why it took too long isn't because in of itself, that's slow training. It's they make it that way. They want you to stay longer. If I could make you a black belt in 2 months, here's one thing they say about a McDojo. You get your black belt 1 year. Signs of a McDojo, high fees, and you get a belt in like under a year or a very short time. It's funny because you get what you pay for. I almost think the opposite of what they're saying is true. A McDojo to me would be like low fees because it's a crappy place. They can't really honestly charge more. If I'm paying $100 a month, then it better be a good place. If I'm paying $20 a month, then that place is going to be shitty. Let's say this one place charges $200 a month and it can give me a black belt in 11 months. And they do competitions and that's sports stuff. Then I'm learning quicker because I'm doing sports and competing. That's what judo does. Karate isn't like that. Well, maybe it is. But then they have Shotokan point fighting, which everybody's talking crap about. I never did Shotokan, so I don't have a dog in that race. I don't have a bone to pick. So I think here's one. I'm not going to use the word McDojo. I'm just going to say this. Here's a place that's expensive and you get the actual skill in a year. And here's a place that's very cheap and you get the actual skill in 10 years. I think many people who followed my path regret it because they wish they could have done it shorter because they feel that their sensei was slowing down their progress and it took them longer to belt than it should have. Like if they had just done MMA, they would have got the same karate skills, but in a short amount of time. People say kata's the real fighting skills, or the real actual fighting, or it's too dangerous to use in sparring, and that's why they don't spar with it, or a bunch of things. They don't offer any evidence of that. Because it's not like they're doing like super dangerous stuff like suplexing people on the ground and breaking their neck. So the techniques can be trained safely and they're actually supposed to. And there's karate places that do that. So they don't even teach. So it's a place that says kata is the real fighting, but they don't teach it correctly. So the first group is, I don't understand kata, I quit, I go to MMA. The second group is like, nope, you're wrong. Traditional shit's better. I have kata. But they don't know what it means, or they can't use it, or they whatever. They're lying about their ability. And they may think they have the ability. They like doing it. They did become a better fighter. But they're lying about their ability. They're not that as lethal. The things they're saying are based on emotion, not logic. I did this. I like doing this. I feel that I'm better. They don't have any proof of like, yo, how good they really are. And even if kata didn't make him a really strong fighter, what if MMA made him equally as strong in a short amount of time? What it comes down to is like time management. Do I want to spend 10 years to get a black belt or 1 year? Do I want to like spend 90 minutes doing kata and only 10 minutes of that are actually useful kata? What if some kata has useless moves or things that are fluff? A lot of the people who defend kata say things like, I agree that most places teach it wrong. So it was like on armchair violence. Most places teach it wrong. Well, if like, let's just say like, they teach it right in Japan, but they teach it wrong in America or Europe, then it's not an option. Then you should just do like American kickboxing or MMA. I'd rather learn real American fighting than fake Japanese fighting. If the cost of admission to learn karate is go to Japan, I think you could go to Japan and train for there 1 year, and that'd be equal to like training maybe like 10 years in America. I think the quality of instruction is better in Japan because duh. I also think they make like better sushi. My battery's dying, I'm on 4%. It's 40 minutes. Kata works for me, it doesn't work for other people. Would I recommend kata to other people? No. If I was teaching like, yo, karate, would I teach kata? Yes. Would I try to make them as proficient as street fighters first before making about anything else, like the silly shit people make it to when they're like doing spiritual development or whatever? I would teach them fighting first. I would spend 2 months giving them a base of solid fighting and reality shit before anything else. The problem with actual schools is when you have large groups, you have different people of different ages and different belts or ranks or ability. You have students dropping out and dropping in all the time. It's not like I just start with, like in a public school, like a high school, here's 9th grade, 10th grade. I have a new class, 30 students, and they're all day one. I have a martial art class. It's something like, here's people who've been trained for 7 years and 3 years and 1 year and 2 months. And then here's some guy who just came in today or last week. And I have to teach them the same shit despite their different levels. So if I was a really big school, I guess I could have a beginner's class and advanced class or something like that. But whoever the person is, let's just say I have this 30 odd people, a dozen to like 2 dozen people, and I'm training them, and that's just like one class, which is kind of odd. You'd think you'd have different classes and be like a actual setup, like serious place of instruction, not some impromptu stuff. No matter how many students I have or how advanced they are, when a new person comes in, I take them aside, I give them the complete knowledge of what they have to do to win street fights, spend 2 months training them to do that. If I have people who are like brown and black belt, a new student comes in, I'll spend 2 months with that new student. If I have a couple new students coming at varying times, I'll work with that group because they need like the expert instruction. The other people, they're advanced students, they can like train themselves or they can lead the class. They can do that. So the main class isn't being led by me, the instructor. The main class is being led by one of my subordinates. And when that brand new person comes in, I have to give them the expert knowledge directly from me. Instead of having a lower belt, I'm teaching the main class and new people come in. Oh, hey, you, go teach the new guy, take him off in the corner for like 15 minutes. You would want ideally to train under the good sensei. If it's my system, then I founded that style, then I should be the head instructor. Then everybody who comes through, they trained under me, the head instructor. I certified them, I trained them, I gave them the belt. It wasn't my Udansha or my Shodans or my brown belts and purple belts and blue belts trained them. I trained them. I showed them what it was. I spend time with them and they get good enough. Now they can go into the general population and play with like the higher belts. And that way they can say they learned directly from me. And that kind of does happen, but anybody who's ever talked shit about me or said I was wrong, failed to make a point, all my arguments stand. I have no interest to like, seriously take up another martial art. I have to work and do a lot of things. I don't need martial arts for sports or like fun or recreation. I don't need that shit to learn to fight. I could do that shit for shits and giggles. I would not. There's 30 martial art places around here. I could go to all of them intermediately, on and off or whatever, maybe make some friends or social shit or whatever, pick up some techniques. Basically just want to spy on them. See what they're teaching people who would attack me in the streets. See what stuff's trickling down to the gangs and the criminals. See what like little bit of information they have. But sight unseen, an attack I've never seen before, I can sense when people are telegraphing anything. I know before they even telegraph or throw a technique how to guard my vitals. I have extremely high defense. The things I do don't come from sports. But for most people, sports will get them to a place where they can fight right away. I'll say something else. Everybody's just lying on both sides. The things that they say are good about traditional martial arts or sports is a lie. The things that say that are bad, so the things that say are good about both isn't correct. And the things that say are bad about both isn't correct. It's just complete misdirection, misinformation. Everybody got everything upside down. There's things they say they know aren't true and they think they're tricking their enemy. But then there's things they say they think are true, isn't. It'd be like if somebody was saying something that was 100% a lie. Here's when they know they're lying, and here's when they don't know it. They think that's actually true. And that becomes a problem because it's like, oh no, I was lying here, not there. That's their defense. Here's when I'm lying, here's when I'm not lying. Well, if you're a liar, why should I listen to anything you say? And they're really that silly. I lied to you about the first 5 things, but I told the truth about the second 5 things. Well, then it's like I have to say something like, were you lying then or were you lying now? And that's another reason why people don't influence me. I think they're pathological liars. I don't need them. I'm not vulnerable. I'm not looking for shit that they're offering. And when people are vulnerable and looking for things, that's when they will listen to other people. I think I know more. I think I have better skill. I think other people do things that are like below my caliber. It's not so much I don't respect it. It's just that's like, different strokes for different folks. Whatever floats the boat. But they still ain't fucking with me. And I'm not looking for recognition to say, you're wrong, I'm better, let me prove it. You're wrong, I'm better, let's fight. Oh, you insulted my style. I'm angry, I want to beat you up. No, I have way too much maturity to fight. But when someone says, you can't do this or that, I challenge you to sparring, I'm accepting every challenge. Because that is part of my training. And so it's walking a fine line between not fighting out of anger, unless it's like a life or death thing and I have to use that for more strength. Not fighting out of anger, but always accepting every challenge. No matter the situation, I'm lethal. If this was light sparring, if this was like a sports thing, if this was like a street altercation, if this was like breaking into my girlfriend's house and we're together and life or death, and I'm there, I only play about like really one rule set where I have ultimate control, and in a street fight, I wouldn't let them cheat and win. In a sports thing, I wouldn't let them cheat and win. And in, what's the other thing? Light sparring, this is training. I wouldn't let them cheat and win. I used to let people cheat all the time when I was younger in training. And the only reason why was to give myself, the only reason I let them do that was to give myself a handicap. so that I was training more honestly, meaning harder. I don't think anybody has like the standards that I have. The rules are, if you do it to me, I can do it to you. But what my thing is, just because you did it to me doesn't mean I'm gonna like retaliate. If people do like dirty shots and sparring or whatever, I don't retaliate, because to me, that's more realistic training. They're doing the eye gouge. I've been eye gouged, I've been nut kicked in fucking light sparring. So when people tell me I need a pressure test, I ignore it. When they say I need a whatever the fuck, I've done shit that's worse. So, oh, and they talk all this shit about how tough their sparring is. When I see them, they look like bitches. So just now I got the idea, maybe they're pretending to go soft as like not scare you, but when you show up, then they go hard. Just be yourself and show what the fuck you really do. I really have a problem with, if we show what it really is, it'll be too badass for them. They'll think it's too hard and they'll quit, or they won't show up. They'll be scared. If someone's that scared of what you do, then they're too weak to join your shit. If you show tough guy stuff, of course wimps aren't going to be a part of it. But tough guys who have trouble finding a place like that would gravitate towards it. You get nothing out of lying. Honesty is the best policy. If you're wimpy, just show your wimpy shit. You'll get more wimps to show up. If you're tough, just show tough guy stuff. You get more tough guys showing up. Don't be some wimp that can't fight, but then try to lie and over embellish and get tough guys show up, only to be disappointed and leave in droves. Don't be some tough guy, Cobra Kai. Don't be Miyagi-Do and say you're Cobra. Don't be Cobra Kai and say you're Miyagi-Do. Because people will be leaving, because you falsely advertised. You're like this wimpy Aikido place that's saying you're combat, and all the thugs show up and they see your bitch, so like they leave. That was a waste of everybody's time. You are like thugged out, but like you don't want to like look bad or politically incorrect, so you pretend to be modern and flowery. So all the wimps show up, and then we put the pressure on them. They get scared and leave. The world will open up when you do. Show your true colors. You'll attract like the same type of caliber of person that you actually need to be with. Lying as for whatever reason isn't going to work. This guy deleted his whole account. I didn't even bully him. I said something like, I'll show this stuff I did later. That seems like a good post. I put a lot of that type of stuff on my Wix account. I put a lot of that stuff on my community board. Click on my name and then look where it says like videos and shorts and playlists and all that. I have the community thing. I have a lot of content on my site. I might put like a fraction of what I'd be going through like daily. 53 minutes, I gotta go. And that's it.